when I hear the feedback from the people, how good it was for them to have, the songs sung in their language and the feedback.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I'm starting
Oh.
to realize little by little the impact that
Hmm.
this thing had, but not fully yet.
Hey there, welcome to the Winx Forever podcast. I'm Lola, creator, host, and lifelong Winx fan. I'm taking a deep dive into the very cool universe of Winx Club. So whether you've been a Winx fan since 2004, like myself, or you vaguely remember it from your childhood, or even if you're being introduced to it for the first time, I want to say welcome. This is the Winx Forever podcast. Hello, fairy friends. Welcome back to the Winx Forever podcast. I am your host, Lola Valentine. Today, we are celebrating 15 years of the first standalone Winx Club music project. I'm, of course, talking about the Winx Club in Concert DVD and album. I had the great honor of getting to talk with the author and singer of this album, Elisa Rosselli, which we will get to later in the show. But first, I wanted to discuss all things related to this mysterious release of the Winx Club in Concert media, as well as the merch that accompanied it. So, of course, I had to enlist the help of my good fairy friend and human Winx Club Enciclomagia, StellasWinxClub. Stella, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course. Oh my gosh. I am so thankful to you for hopping on here last minute. Like, I've been editing this episode. I'm like, there's just something missing. And I'm like, I know I've got to talk about the nitty gritty history of this release because it's kind of shrouded in mystery a little bit. Like, time has passed and like things have not been recorded correctly to kind of reflect the release of this media. And you and I have spent the past like 2 hours trying to super sleuth like where did these like dates that we have recorded, so to speak, like come from? Like what is going on with this project? So yeah, do you want to kind of give us a little background with your experience with the project, but then also we can dive into like when we think this was released officially and all of that.
Okay, so my personal experience with this release is a little bit washed out in my memory, but because of certain release dates, I can kind of organize it into the years. So, since on the release of Winx in Concert is one song from Winx on Ice, I know
Mm,
that this Winx in Concert definitely must have been released after Winx on Ice, which was like on physical media released in the end of 2008.
mm-hmm.
So I think like Winx in Concert goes hand in hand with like the release of Winx on Ice. So at the end of 2008, beginning of 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And I was active on YouTube, like with my first account back in
Yes.
2007. So I was constantly looking for like Winx videos and stuff. And there were not many people online uploading things. And I think, if I might say so, I think especially in Italy, people were not online much.
Mm-hmm.
They were not like really having the technical like stuff to like sit down and rip a DVD and upload it. So
Mm-hmm.
it took some time until the first like things of Winx in Concert appeared on YouTube and made it
Yes.
like to my page.
Yeah.
Um, but ever since season 4 was released in 2009 in April, I was also like checking always the Winx website. So I kind of knew, like, looking back again, making it up with
Mm-hmm.
the release dates, I think I must have known about Winx in Concert in the beginning of 2009 as well, when it
Mm-hmm.
was like actually released. And it was like a year later that I got my hands on the DVD. But
Yes. Yeah.
during 2009, I think the only thing that I physically had of Winx in Concert was later that year
Mm,
from the Winx In Concert dolls by Witty Toys.
yes.
Yeah, then during the next years, it went
Mhm.
crazy with Winx In Concert, which we will dive
Yes.
into.
Yes, absolutely. So I think that same as you a little bit, I was privy to it only through maybe YouTube and when people started uploading the music videos, right? From the ripped versions of the DVD. So and from the research that you and I just did, like we dove into, was like early in 2009. And so I want to give a little background for our listeners. So as many fandoms are on the fandom wiki, there are fandom wikis that are pretty much maintained and updated by fans, right? And so there's obviously anytime there's an open forum like that fans are able to edit, there can occur discrepancies or inaccuracies. And so on the Winx Club wiki, which like most, I will say for the most part, Winx Club wiki, if it's not 100% correct, it is like there are it's a margin, right? Like so there's margin for error. Um I don't want to discredit the work that all the fans that have contributed to the Winx Club wiki and have put into it. There's just it's human error, right? So, and also Winx Club as a company hasn't done well either to chronicle the dates themselves, right? So that leaves us fans, behind to pick up the pieces and put them together ourselves.
Mhm.
So on Winx Club Wiki, the release date for Winx Club in Concert, which is the release of the DVD,
The
and
3D
the
cover.
yes, the 3D cover DVD that is what we assume is, the first release ever. On Winx Club Wiki, it says February 10th, 2009. And Stella, would you like to share why the research we just did would say otherwise?
Yes. So I don't know why I started to question that date,
Mm-hmm.
but I was Googling, coming across many different websites that had certain release dates for the
Mm-hmm.
DVD, saying the release date was during the end of December 2008.
Right.
Which is like I questioned that as well because the credits on the DVD say 2009. But I was like, okay, if it's like the end of 2008, why not give it already 2009 credits?
Yeah.
And I also have the DVD. So on Italian, like media releases, is always this golden sticker which verifies the truth of a product, that it's like
Yeah.
legitimately released by the
Right.
company, and it says one of nine, like zero
Mhm.
one slash 009, which could mean okay, issue number one of 2009, sorry.
Yeah.
Or it could mean January 2009.
Which I think is more accurate. Yeah.
So then we just came across a video on YouTube, like scrolling
Mhm.
through the past, by the distributor called Exa Cinema, who uploaded a video of the trailer on December 5th, 2008, which is
Mhm.
crazy. That is so long ago. But sadly, it didn't say on which date it actually is released. Then we came across another video by the YouTube channel The Real Winx Club, which is
Mhm.
also a channel I know since many years. And they uploaded the trailer as well a day later, writing it will be released in January 2009. And they uploaded on January 2nd, 2009, the music video to You're the One slash
Mhm.
Unica. And now we're like in between. And I think it kind of would make most sense that it was rather released during the beginning of the week, which were
Mhm.
like the last days of December 2008,
Yep.
or January 1st or 2nd. You decide.
You're right. That's our best guess as to when this project was actually released, and we're thinking that it was released with only the DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy because there's a lot of sources out there, especially Winx Wiki, that says that the CD was released as well, but there was not one, right? Until later.
hmm I also would like to mention, if someone
Hmm.
doesn't know, the DVD comes with Italian and English
Hmm.
language, but the DVD is called Winx In Concerto. Like
Yeah.
there was no English like title DVD released,
Hmm.
just this Italian one with both languages.
Was it Winx in Concerto or was it Winx Club in
Yeah,
Concerto?
that's the question, because I mean it's the
Yeah,
Winx logo and then you have In Concerto under
right.
it. So it depends on you how you read it, right?
Because this album was, the first of its kind, this project was the first of its kind in Winx Club franchise history. It had the DVD and the actual album, and then the line of toys with Witty. But then it also uh debuted in the Winx Club magazine. Do you wanna talk about the release of the Winx Club magazine and what we kind of theorized there?
Yes. So in February 2009, there was the magazine issue number 59 in Italy, which first featured the 2D artworks of the Winx in Concert outfits. And we also stumbled across a release date in the wiki fandom saying February 10th, 2009. And we were
Mhm.
wondering where that was coming from. And doing some research, I think that most of the time the magazine was released in the beginning of the month in Italy. So maybe this DVD has been an extra to the magazine 59 in Italy, but I am not sure because I
Right.
can't find anyone who has this magazine who could like help us out.
Mhm.
Because most of the time, even if you don't have the extra, most of the time they would dedicate a little part of the magazine to the extra, like
Mhm.
especially back in the days.
Yeah.
So maybe it was someone who has this magazine or who thought, okay, this magazine has the Winx in Concert artworks. Maybe
Mhm.
it went hand in hand with the DVD. So this was our assumption where this date was coming from,
Mhm.
but not sure.
Yeah, I think that that is the best educated guess we could make on
Yeah.
on this February 10th date because yeah, that is the date that a lot of us have been going by for a while, but then to know that it's actually more likely that it was in January 2009 is pretty wild. So, yeah, I'm glad to get those things cleared up.
And also adding, the fourth season was released in Italy in April 2009. So
Yes.
just to give
A better context, yeah, of where yeah, this is falling in the timeline of Winx Club. And so that brings us to the fall of 2009 when you mentioned the dolls, the Witty Toys dolls came
Mhm.
out. So describe to us like the dolls, and what was going on with them. Was it all of the Winx in the doll line?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
6 of them. And I found out they were released in October 2009, and I happened to also get them in October
Wow.
2009. And everyone came with a DVD. So since Winx in Concert is like basically giving every Winx their own song, but also
Mhm.
like group songs,
Mhm.
on each DVD there was the own song for the Winx. Like
Oh.
Bloom got Endlessly, Stella got
Mhm.
Spotlight, and so on. And then there was just another song, which was You're the One. So
Mm.
there was like nothing new except for the personalized songs. The DVD contains English, Italian, German, and French.
Oh,
So I
wow.
assume that they were also released in France for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But I'm not too sure about Italy
Yeah.
because they also had other releases of the dolls with like
Mm.
these dolls came with a guitar where you had like lip gloss inside,
Oh,
but there
cute.
was also a release where the guitars were just like completely made out of plastic and
Yeah.
no DVD. And
Oh.
I feel like the DVD versions have been around more in Germany and France, but also
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
too sure.
The fact that Witty, yeah, came out with these Rockstar dolls is really cool to see. And for them to feature their own like CDs in it, like I loved media back then
Mm-hmm.
and like the toys that it would accompany. Like it was so cool because I don't know, I feel like we just grew up in such a special time
Yes.
that like kids
Mm-hmm.
kids today, back in my day, I don't want to be like that, but truly like
It's
back in
true,
our
yes.
day, yes, it was just so crazy and
To me
special
it
and
feels
like
like yesterday, but
I know.
I was 14 years old.
I
14.
know.
Can you
Oh.
imagine nowadays 14-year-old kids are playing with ChatGPT, AI, whatnot? And I was like playing with my dolls.
Same. So we have the Witty release in October 2009 of the dolls. Then in December, we get this re-release
Of the
of
DVD
the DVD
in Italy.
and in Italy, and also a re-release of the digital album, correct? Is that correct?
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
Later.
Later.
It gets confusing because
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I said before we
Mm-hmm.
recorded, I don't remember seeing a digital album online in 2009. The
Mm-hmm.
earliest I remember and I have proof is during 2010.
And it wasn't the 2D art that we have now. It
Mm-hmm.
was the art that matched. It was the CGI art that matched the
Yeah.
DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, where did this 2D art come from?
Mm-hmm.
And we think that we know, right? There was an update in 2013 where they updated the artwork to that 2D
Mm-hmm.
artwork. And
Right.
it's just
So
Winx in Concert, not Winx Club in
mm,
Concert.
I also have like the second release of Winx in Concerto, which it
Mm-hmm.
says here on the front. Like this is the first time I would also say it like really gives it a title, a proper
Yeah.
title where you can really
Yeah.
say, oh, that's that, and not like having
Winx
the Winx
Club in
logo and
Concert.
then
Yeah.
slapped in Concerto.
Right.
So we already had this like 2D artwork at the end of 2009,
Mm-hmm.
but it like to me it didn't make its way until 2013. Like
Right.
how many years? Four years
Mm-hmm.
almost. When I was looking for the releases online, I think the most times I saw December 2009. Also
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, iTunes, Amazon say with the like release we now find online, it
Mm-hmm.
says December 15th, 2009. But I was like, no, this can't be. This
Yeah.
can't be, because I was like, no, I was there all the time. This can't be. And so I did some research. I mean, I also write down certain things and I was looking it up. And I remembered correctly. They did a proper digital release of the Winx in Concert in English, Italian, German, French, and Spanish on September 1st, 2013, with the blue colored artwork
Mm-hmm.
background.
The 2D, yeah,
Mhm.
artwork.
And I don't know why they have the audacity to say it was released in 2009.
Yeah.
But another thing, in June 2010, there was this small release of songs from season 4 with
Mm-hmm.
also a
Yes.
similar cover like having a blue colored background with the Winx in Concert 2D style. It were only a handful of songs in English sung by Elisa from season 4, which like basically never made it to the season because they were then actually sung by Michela Olari and Alessia Orlando.
Right.
And then I have a purchase on Amazon. I don't remember if it was on iTunes, because back in the days you could only buy on iTunes when you had a credit card, but we didn't have a credit card. So I bought it on iTunes. I bought in June 2010 on iTunes Winx in Concert with the 3D cover digitally. And then another thing, it is so confusing. I feel like you can't even express this whole thing in a understandable way.
Right.
I mean, in the Winx wiki, it is said that there was a CD release of the Winx in Concert. It's kind of true. There has never been an official English or Italian release on CD, except for French. It was released in French on CD, in Portuguese, in Turkish, and in Spanish. That was also during the years of 2009. And I see also in 2013 there has been a 3D cover release of that CD DVD in Spanish. So the 3D cover has been around until like 2013, even if there was like the 2D cover release at the end of 2009.
Yeah.
And I also read somewhere, I think someone said there was an exclusive CD to Amazon.
Yes, yeah.
That was so interesting to me because I happen to have this CD, which, you know, I was like, when I received it, I was like, what is this?
Suspicious.
Yeah. And to be honest, it hasn't been standing in my like collection room since many years because I thought this is trash. But now that I did this research, I'm like, oh my God, this is
It's
a
a piece
holy
of
treasure.
history. Yes.
So I still have the invoice. So I know that I ordered this on March 4th, 2012. And I found the official offer on Amazon again. Like it still exists when you like do a deep dive. And Amazon said like it's the American Amazon because I paid in dollars, not in pound, not in euro.
Yeah.
So this like American Amazon, I think, said it released it on July 9th, 2011. And I show it in the camera so you can see it. It is the 3D cover, but they put like this bluish border around it, like not very beautiful. And the CD, it looks like a DIY. Even
Can
more
we
ugly.
see?
Of course. So the back of the CD
Oh,
is like
wow.
just blue with the track list like written down in Times New Roman. I don't know what is this. Like there's no credit whatsoever. It doesn't say rainbow. It doesn't say tridimensional or
It's just a
what else.
bootleg.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has a barcode, and on top it says, oh my God, I can't read it. Manufactured by Amazon.com.
Weird.
And then the inside is also only blue.
Wow.
Another track
What?
list. And
That's
then
crazy.
when you open the booklet, another track list. But this time, with the times, like how long, the duration.
Weird.
And I was receiving this. I was like, you know, in the offer you could only see the cover where they already put the blue border around it. And I was like, okay, because I remember seeing multiple like digital releases on Amazon. Like I bet I remember. I could be wrong, so don't take me too seriously. But I think you were able back in the days, like I remember doing so, going onto a certain platform and creating my own CD.
Yes.
And I think to remember that Amazon offered with like different releases, not only Winx, that they will burn this for you on a CD. And always they would put the blue border so you don't assume it's
Oh,
official. But
yeah.
when I was 16 years old in
Yeah.
2012. When I received it, like I knew the cover, right? But I was so disappointed by the rest of the CD. The
Oh,
CD itself is also just blue. It doesn't even have
yes.
the 3D cover printed on. Like, what is this? You know?
Yes.
So to
Oh my
me,
gosh.
it's just like, yes, Amazon burned it on CD, but to me, it's not like an exclusive release with
Yeah.
or for Amazon. It's a rumor, it's a mystery.
It is. The whole release of this is so mysterious. And then in November of 2010, we also got the Nintendo DS game,
Mm-hmm.
the Winx Club Rockstars. And that release, I mean, it's just all of, and that had the 2D art, right? And like, but
Mm-hmm.
it was branded as Winx Club Rockstars. Was the Woody Toys also Winx Club Rockstars? Or was it Winx Club in Concert?
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, I think they just called it Rock Band.
Okay, but the premise of the Winx Club Rockstars is the Winx girls are on Earth forming a rock band to help get the people of Earth to believe in magic, essentially. And it's really interesting. You can change their clothes. You can like it's very much like Guitar Hero and Rock Band esque. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the same type of like game functionality, but again, it has the all of the 2D art, and it's really interesting. I have this game thanks to my friend Sorcelin on Jenna on Instagram. I cannot thank her enough for sending me these. Oh my god, so kind. But yeah, so I've been playing through this actually, and it's very fun. It's like it's not too deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's very chill. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just Winx Rockstars, Winx Club Rockstars, Winx in Concert, Winx Club in Concert. Who are they? We don't know.
I also want to
Mhm.
add something which is
Yes.
interesting to the German people here
Yes.
listening. Like I said earlier, if you remember, on the re-release of the digital album, or like maybe the real first release of the album on
Mhm.
September 1st, 2013, they removed the song Dreaming in My Way on all
Yes.
albums, on all languages. And I was so sad because I only can speak right now for the German language because I'm
Mhm.
most familiar with that one. I was so sad because the only time I heard this song was on the Nintendo DS game.
Really?
Yeah, in German.
Wow.
And back in the days, I was 14,
Yeah.
15 years old. I downloaded illegally an emulator to my shitty computer and recorded the sound. And somehow I wasn't doing the settings properly and it sounded terrible, but I uploaded it to YouTube. And I was the first and only channel to have this song.
In
And
German.
yeah, and later, of
Wow.
course, people downloaded it and re-uploaded it. Oh my God,
Mhm.
I can't speak. Um, and I could tell it was mine because of the quality.
Yes. Oh my
Um,
god.
but last year, on November 7th, 2023, the official German YouTube channel of Winx uploaded the song with the video to it. Like, I have been waiting for an
Ah.
official release of that song in German since 14 years.
Yes.
That is so crazy. I was crying when I saw that.
Oh my gosh. How special.
Yes,
I love
but
that.
still the quality isn't the same as like a true digital release, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Wow.
was always wondering why they removed the song. Most of the time,
Mhm.
I was thinking maybe it had to do with the rights since it was from Wings on Ice, and
Yeah.
I don't know how the situation with the rights was there. And also, it
Mhm.
wasn't sung by Elisa.
Right.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
sung
yeah.
by someone else, and I don't know her name, sadly.
Yeah, me neither. And that's the funny thing. Like, yeah, it was in the initial release the only one that was not by Elisa. And I wonder if that had something to do with it. And like you said, that it was a Winx on Ice song and not a Winx Club in Concert technically song. So
Mm.
very interesting. Like I said, so many mysteries. I do and we brought this up in our research, want to mention if you I feel so bad for the people that didn't grow up with the version of the website that we did
Mm-hmm.
because in 2010 Winx Club just put the whole album up on their
Mm-hmm.
fun zone on the website to download for free. Well, not for free. I think that you had to use like your points on the website because like the different points that you would like occur
Mm-hmm.
doing different things on the website. It was like a point system on your account. They were still free that you could get, you know, like you could earn these points playing games and reading articles and you know, things like that. And you could use them across the website, like for clothes for your avatar and things like that. And so they had these literally the whole soundtrack, the whole album on the website. And I'll put a screenshot because I have one. The whole album for download for essentially free. It was crazy. It was like the Wild West. Like 2009, 2010 was like crazy. It
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. It feels like a fever dream. Because like now someone doing that, that's unheard of. Like you don't just put up your stuff for free on the internet like that. I was
Mm.
gagged.
But didn't your screenshot say that's also something funny. It is Mambo Chiwambo, but for some reason they suddenly called it the Chiwambo song.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Like why? Like what is the point? The Chiwambo song. Yes, that is the first time I think that it was called that. This is yeah, exactly. Like there are so many things like
Ooh.
this. Like
And
what
also
happened?
I just also want to add on the DVD releases and in general, we only had the short versions of several
Right.
songs. The long releases, I think in the first time were released on that Amazon release I downloaded in 2010. And
Mhm.
then like truly in 2013 you could get the
Right.
full versions.
The more it's so funny because it feels like the more that we get closer to like a definite answer of when it was released, the more questions I have. Like what is actually going on? So, oh my gosh. Yeah, crazy. Well, I could talk literally all day about this, but I think that this is a good stopping point. Stella, thank you so much. Share with our listeners what you're up to, what you're doing, and where they can find you online.
So first of all, I want to thank you again for having me on this episode. It means a lot to me actually talking about this release because Winx in Concert has been a very huge part
Mm.
of my Winx music, and I remember the time so well. Like for me, it was like also the time when the last Mattel dolls were released, the picnic ones. Like to me, it were the
Yes.
picnic ones. After that, they were also like the Rockstar versions, which were like
Hmm.
so hard to get.
Yes.
And also during that time, there was the Hannah Montana movie release. And I
Oh,
also listened to that soundtrack nonstop. So Winx in Concert, the Hannah Montana movie soundtrack, and these picnic Mattel dolls, like this belongs together for me. Like I remember a summer full of music and the dolls, like, and the smell of my room back in the day, like I remember that, like, and the feeling of my floor, because I sat on the floor listening to the music, having my dolls, and it's
Yes.
it's something I think in these days you probably could never experience such thing, because
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can listen to music and stuff, but I remember so well how difficult it was for me to get this music of Winx in
Right.
Concert. It was just like crappy videos on YouTube and like this bad quality, but I would listen to that nonstop. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was also like, apart from the movie soundtrack, it was also the first
Mhm.
time really hearing a lot of Elisa and being like,
Yes.
who is this beautiful woman? Like,
Yes.
her voice, I was like, this is like a match made in heaven.
Mhm.
She is so wonderful. And now, so many years later, I'm getting emotional. Like, I can call her my friend, and now
Yes.
being like somehow on the same episode as her and talking about this release, this is, I don't know, it's like a full circle moment, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I love it. You're making me emotional. Stop. That's so great, and I love that. And yeah, and it's so fun to get to connect because we were all in our separate corners of the world experiencing
Mm-hmm.
Winx Club by ourselves, right? And now 15 years later, having such a community of friends now, like to experience it with is like crazy.
And we will meet. We will meet in a few months.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna be an emotional wreck all day.
Me too.
Waterproof mascara, waterproof everything. Oh my God. Yeah, so exciting. Well, I'm so excited for all the things. I'm so excited to meet you in person, and it's just going to be so incredibly magical. Also, friends, be sure to check out Stella's website, StellasWinxClub.com. I'll link it
Mhm.
in the show notes below. She's got, for our German Winxers, she's got an entire catalog of all of the German Winx Club magazines and
Mhm.
when they were released. And so definitely check those out. She's done incredible research for that, but also for this issue of the Magical Memories magazine for the Winx Club music article. So Stella, thank you as always. You're so lovely. I can't wait
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Ciao amore, it's me, Stella. After our recording, I was able to find another piece of the puzzle and solve another mystery. With my German Amazon account, I bought the Winx In Concert album with the CGI cover in June 2010. I couldn't find a release date for a long time, mainly because the offer is no longer available on Amazon. However, while searching, I came across a Spotify link that contains this album. It says that the album was released on June 3rd, 2010, which makes perfect sense to me. And since I only bought the English album on Amazon at that time, the Italian version won't have been available, at least in Germany. Last but not least, I would like to point out once again that all information that Lola and I have provided in this episode is without guarantee. But of course, personally, I am very convinced that our information is realistic, especially because I experienced everything myself. But of course, my memory is a little bit blurry after so many years. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. Segui il tuo cuore, your Stella.
Hello, fairy friends. Welcome back to the Winx Forever podcast. I am your host, Lola Valentine. Today, we are talking all about the Winx Club in Concert album released 15 years ago this year. I cannot think of a better way to celebrate the release of this album and to talk about it than to invite the author and singer of this album, Elisa Rosselli, to the show. Elisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of
Oh my God. Yeah, I
course.
feel a lot of emotions right now.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm happy. I'm really happy, excited.
Yes. Can you even believe 15 years ago this album was released? It feels just like yesterday.
It does, especially because the songs, the show, it feels like eternal with no
Hmm.
time. So I don't know. It can belong to
Yeah.
any era.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think, the it's Winx Club is so broad, right? We have so many fun, creative things that have come out from Winx Club, like not only the fashion and the storyline, but also the music is a big part of the story. And
It is.
you were so instrumental, pun intended, you know, creating that avenue for Winx fans. And so thank you for just like lending your voice to this series, but also just like creating these wonderful songs that we still cherish today, 15 years later.
It's my honor and my pleasure to talk to many people, to speak to the hearts of many people. So I feel I am one of the luckiest girls in the universe.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely. And we're just so incredibly lucky as a fandom to have someone like you and so kind and so generous. And it's just so magical and I'm so
I
thankful. But
think it was meant to be. It's like I have found my extended family, soul family, they call it.
yes. Well, I can't wait to dive into, talk a little bit more about, this album. But first, I want to talk about kind of creativity with you because I
Right.
mean, it takes a lot to produce a a piece like the Winx Club in Concert album and even the other albums that you worked on, the Secret Lost Kingdom soundtrack, the Magical Adventure soundtrack, the season 5 songs. Like there's so much that goes into creating something that can become so timeless like these songs. What keeps you inspired creatively?
My everyday life, meaning, though, my everyday life is nothing ordinary because I'm not wired ordinary. Since I was little, since I was a kid, I have been feeling amplified.
Mm.
Um, I thought everyone was like me. And I lived in a world full of my inner adventures like
Mhm.
any other kid. But that didn't change as I grew up. So I must say,
Yeah.
I stayed wired in the strong imagination, in the strong emotion, been playing and escaping almost reality every
Yes.
day into music, into my stories. I have been writing poems, anything I could, invent. Even in school, that they called
Yeah.
me like, how do you say, the poetress? Is that a word? The female poet.
Yes.
And also was known to be very, very easily distracted, lost into
Mm.
my world. Um, Maybe ADHD, kind of. Uh, that we didn't have all those definitions at that time, but I know this was a
Right.
real big problem for my teachers. Not for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
though.
Right.
So
Yeah.
going back to the answer, I think I just have been projecting all my emotions of my everyday life um, into this project because
Mm.
there is a kind of, I don't know if it's a good spell or a bad spell, but there is this thing that whatever happens in the TV show, probably it's taking place in my life. The
Wow.
same characteristics, the same issues, the same strong experiences.
Yeah.
Yes, I find that really odd.
Yeah.
Really, really odd. And that's why I think I merge with the Winx Club TV show perfectly. So it's not, I don't need to go very far to find inspiration.
Yeah, I love that. And that's so like how serendipitous. How like that's fate, truly. Like that you
It
were able to
is.
connect so well with these characters, with the storylines, and that you saw yourself, like many of us see ourselves in the Winx Club, you were able to connect on that emotional level to create all of this music.
Yes, so empathic. I don't know. I just was
Mhm.
hungry. I had this hunger for knowing more about the characters, to dive into every shade of their characteristics.
Absolutely. Are there some singers that you look up to as an artist, or, who are some of your favorite songwriters even?
Songwriters. Okay, now I do really enjoy Dua Lipa.
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite singers and yeah, entertainers. It seems like it comes easy to her, whatever she
Oh,
does.
yes.
And
Yes.
that's meant to be.
Mhm.
But going back, maybe I look up to David Bowie, to Bjork, to
Mhm.
FKA Twigs. Nowadays, I know anything that is not really, really, that it's a kind of out of the box. Can I say that?
Yeah,
People who
yeah.
think out of their comfort zone, they really inspire me a lot, a lot.
Mhm. Oh,
So many.
yeah.
But yeah, it's even impossible to make a list. For me,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Maybe also Madonna back in the days,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
also pop rock from the 80s. It's my cup
Mm,
of tea. So anything
totally.
80s. Depeche
Absolutely.
Mode.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're listening to all these people, like as you said, that were very out of the and still continue to be very out of the box for their genres, and
Yes,
like these movement makers, truly, like they
exactly.
inventors, innovators, and in the musical spaces that they take up. So yeah, I
I
completely.
didn't even mention my favorite, Prince.
Ah, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
Prince.
I love
Also, Stevie
Prince.
Wonder, Alicia Keys, and many
Yes,
people
yeah.
from the R&B and soul. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
them.
And you can hear that musical influence on this album, which I think is incredible because there's not one genre on the Winx Club and Concert album. You take those inspirations and you poured it back into your work, and like it's very apparent with the tracks that we find on this album, that I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
I want to know, so obviously your first work with Winx Club was with the Secret of Lost Kingdom soundtrack, which introduced us, the fandom, to you and your work and your beautiful voice. Um After Secret of the Lost Kingdom, what was that conversation like with Rainbow when they approached you about doing, the Winx Club and Concert album? I know that you were contracted with them. What was that like?
Yes, at that point we agreed on signing an exclusive contract as authors. They would be our publishers. So whatever we would write, even if not for only for the Winx Club, but even
Mhm.
for other people, they would like manage the publishing. And so
Gotcha.
we began this journey, and we were like working nonstop for them for
Mhm.
every request. So they asked us if we wanted to try to make this happen with the TV
Yeah.
show. And yes, it was a challenge because we me and Maurizio Daniello never
Mhm.
actually got one single opening song.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
tried so many times, but it's not our forte. It's
Right.
not. I must say, we are specialized in other kind of songs.
Fair,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So it was really organic, really. Also
Yeah.
because they also have another team. It's mainly two teams. It
Mhm.
was me and Maurizio and the Sample. Sample? Do you know
Okay.
Sample? It's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
pool of a team. Yes. So because there is a lot to do, you cannot do everything.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like just constantly pitching against them for the
Yes.
openings, for the transformations, and Rainbow got to pick, to
Uh-huh.
choose.
Really cool, really cool. And so, there's we kind of touched on it a little bit, but there's so much, in this album that you drew inspiration from your own life that, kind of paralleled to what was going on in the show. But what other, elements of the show inspired you in your writing process for this album?
Look, everything, probably the the connection the girls have, the sticking to each other, sticking to the promise of making the world a better place, but the friendship, the
Mm.
friendship,
Yes.
the complicity, the being so different, unique, but coming together as one, that melts my heart, touches my heart. I think it's
Yes.
the friendship, but also Bloom's research, Bloom
Mhm.
longing of, home. Where is home? Her
Mhm.
journey.
Yes.
Yes.
Were there songs that came easier to you in the writing process? Maybe some songs that, connected with you more initially than maybe some others took more time?
Let me recall those moments because I would say every song came easily,
Mm.
but one was hard to sing. This big world,
Yes.
it didn't take me a long time to record it. I mean, it was like a couple of takes
Mhm.
because it was like maybe just one take. But I struggled because, it was for Musa's mother.
Yes, yeah.
And I had just lost my father.
Mm.
See,
Wow. Yes.
I, during the process of writing the album, my father passed away. So when I
Wow.
when I had to go to the studio, I was struggling with tears and I was in shock because I also had a deadline.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I had the deadline. And
Mhm.
so I had to go back to Milan. I had to do it because I had to be ready.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to the studio after a few days that my father passed away. It was such a release to
Mm.
get into something else, that it wasn't only grief, but the elaboration of the grief, the metabolization
Yeah.
of the grief. And so I wrote the lyrics thinking of him, and
Mhm.
it's for him. It's the
Oh,
song for my father.
yes.
Yeah, and Maurizio
Wow.
was like, okay, take your time, just cry it all out, and then we
Mhm.
record again. Because my
Oh.
voice was, I was choking, I was
Mhm.
shaking, and then it came. It came.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Magic, literally.
yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's
I didn't.
one of those examples that I told you,
Yes.
parallelism.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
incredible. And for you to pour that back into your art shows what, what an artist you are, to use all those experiences and turn them into good. Like that's wild. I love that.
Yeah,
Oh.
music will always save me.
If you love the Winx Forever podcast and you want even more, be sure to check out the Winx Forever podcast Discord server. Discord has been such a fun way to connect with very fabulous friends from all over the world, and we talk about any Winx Club topic that you can imagine. So be sure to check it out. You can join by clicking the link in the description below. When the DVD released, obviously this was a package deal. It was an album. It was also a DVD that got released in Europe. Very cool. I remember, oh my goodness, once the music videos hit YouTube, Mambo Chiwambo was on repeat. Like, I loved it. But there's a lot of different versions of it too. There are other languages that recorded these as well. So I want to know, besides Italian and English, do you have a favorite language that it was released in?
I really loved the German versions because I love the singer. And I actually met one because she came down to record to Milan. Yeah. I met
Yes.
Lena. I think her name was Lena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. How special.
It was special because also she was ginger hair,
Yes.
like another, she was blue.
That's incredible. Oh wow.
Yes.
How magical. I can't even imagine like having a piece of work, that you poured your heart and soul into, getting to have so many different lives across the world. Like that's so cool. What
really
kind of
cool.
emotions does that bring up for you?
Many different emotions, sometimes not so good because I wanted to, because only sometimes I'm a control freak. And
as any good artist is, I'm sure. Yes, yeah.
And the fact that I couldn't supervise the whole process really got on my nerves.
For sure.
There are a few versions that I didn't enjoy as much because I feel, but I don't know the truth, but I feel, I don't know what kind of resources they had in other countries.
Right, yeah.
How much time do they have, or the budget, or,
right,
to do the work. So I thought that some of the works were like really good, really good.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was thankful.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, definitely. And it's interesting because like a lot of those, re-recorded versions in different languages where a lot of people's first interaction with, even the franchise itself, but also then thanks to the internet, we would go and find your versions, the English and the Italian versions. And so in a lot of ways, it's really a testament to your writing as a songwriter that it could transcend through so many different language barriers, that it would still resonate with so many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for some reasons, I'm not like, how you say, it still is not really sinking in 100%. Like I don't realize sometimes all these things, and I just think about musically. Okay, I would have done this, I would have done that. I just think more technically. But then when I hear the feedback from the people, when I started receiving feedbacks through Facebook Messenger, from direct messages, now even touring, how good it was for them to have, the songs sung in their language and the feedback.
Yeah.
And it was amazing,
Yes.
amazing. I'm starting
Oh.
to realize little by little the impact that
Mm-hmm.
this thing had, but not fully yet.
Yeah, definitely. And still even to this day, 15 years later since it released, that's still resonating with fans across the world, and it's really really cool to see. I want to know, what has it been like for you performing these songs again live at events like Milan Games Week and other, Comic Cons? Like, how has that been for you reliving these songs?
Oh my God, it's like Christmas for a child.
Oh.
I have been suffering all these years for not getting to meet the fans, not giving back to them, meeting me, because it's so beautiful, it's so heartwarming. And I think when you have someone that you really admire and it has that impact on your everyday life, you listen to their songs when you run, when you cry, when
Mhm.
you break up with someone, when you need encouragement. I know
Yeah.
you become every day, I mean, a
Mhm.
friend, even without knowing it. So when
Yeah.
people come to me in the meet and greet, also before the meet and greet, during the concert, they
Yes.
go through emotions because it opens up the doors to remembering, even when they used to transform in their bedroom, or
Yes.
someone told me this is really a dear memory to me because every time you sing, I remember I used to watch the TV show with my granny. It was our
Oh,
moment. Everyone has a
yeah.
different atmosphere around it, a frame, and so they kind of come to me and they hold me and they cry, start shaking, and the
Mhm.
release of the pent up emotions. And I
Yeah.
have pent up emotions as well because I was longing to meet and to give back, to sing. And I don't know, it's just like a never ending party. Pieces coming together,
Yes, absolutely. And I
healing.
yes, absolutely. And it's really cool because, I mean, as a fan who has followed the franchise for 20 years and seen every iteration, of Winx Club, seen, like been there when the music started releasing, and now to see it, have such a moment at these events, and see what it means for not only the fans but also to you to get to have these moments. Like, it's magical. It's so, I can't stop like just thinking about how magical and lucky we are to be in such a fandom together, because like there's not a lot of franchises that can say that they have a fandom like this, and I think that that is very magical.
And I think now they realize that finally. I know for
Mhm.
an artist, it's normal to meet the fans and to get to perform. But
Mhm.
I want to tell the truth. My truth is I'll never get used to it. I'll never get used to
Yeah.
the beauty of these meetings of love. Never get used to
Mhm.
beauty. Never get used to these emotions. Never get used
Mhm.
to doing it 100 times in a row. And
Yeah.
every person I get to meet, for me, it's also a gift.
I love that so much, and I am hopeful that we get many more chances like that this year as we continue to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Winx Club. I have to know, will you be attending the Winx Club anniversary event in Rimini in August?
Of course.
Ah! Oh my goodness, we are so excited. We're so
I don't
excited.
even know if I can say that because I don't think it's official yet. But yes, yes, of course. I will not Miss it. No,
Yeah.
I'm involved
Oh.
actually. Yes.
Oh, how exciting. Oh my God. I know that you probably can't say much more, but I am so excited.
No, I can say
You
much
can?
more.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I mean, whatever you want to share. Because, I mean, can we expect like live performances of music? Oh my God.
Of course, this is the 20th anniversary, so you can
Yes.
expect a long series of events. And
Mhm.
yeah, I will take part to some of them.
Mhm.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
So,
Exciting.
yes.
I'm excited because I am fortunate enough to be attending the Rimini event in August. So
Oh my God, we get to meet each
I know.
other. Yay!
Oh, it will be truly like the biggest. Like I know that like there have been Winx fan reunions like, in the past, but like this is going to be iconic. Like I'm so excited.
So once in a lifetime occasion to see you.
Yes. I know. I know. I can't. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're listening to the Winx Forever podcast. Incredible. Well, as you said, we have so much to look forward to this year as we continue to celebrate 20 years of Winx Club and 15 years of the Winx Club in Concert album. But I want to know, what can fans look forward to from you, Elisa? What can we look forward to from you in the future and your music?
So let's talk about this specific year.
Mhm.
It's all Winx, all about Winx
Oh,
and
Winx.
Winx concerts, Winx events, rainbow events,
Mhm.
big celebration going on and on and on all year, all year. So I'm
Yes.
concentrated on this. Next year, though, there's going to be a surprise coming up because I'm working on my personal project. It still has to do with Winx, though, because I feel 2025 is going to be about the reboot. And
Yes.
also, I don't think that the partying or the celebrations will be really over. I feel that there's going to be more. I don't know.
Awesome.
It's just a feeling. So
Feeling.
I'm just, thinking about other ways to
Mhm.
entertain the fandom live.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Ah,
But I don't want to
okay.
reveal more because it's work in
Yeah.
progress,
Yeah.
and hopefully there's going to be new music as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
For now, I really don't have much time to dedicate to extra projects,
Okay.
and I'm
Gotcha.
happy that way for now.
Yes.
But stay in
Incredible.
touch and keep tuning in because it's a
Very
lot.
nice.
There's going to
Yes.
be a lot of surprises.
Incredible. Yes. Well, everyone, be sure to check out all of the social channels and platforms that Lisa is on. Those will be linked in the description below to listen to her current music, but also to keep up with all the projects that she has going on. Before we take a quick break and get into our top Winx songs draft, it's been a tradition on the Winx Forever podcast for our guests to answer a set of rapid fire questions. So,
I love fire.
all right, so let's get into these rapid fire questions with Elisa Rosselli. Who is your favorite Winx member?
Bloom.
What is your favorite Winx Club season?
Next. No, sorry. Pick one. Pick one. Five.
Okay. Who is your favorite specialist from the Winx Club?
Helium.
All right. Who is your favorite villain from Winx Club?
Sexy Walter.
Yes.
And different
Uh,
magicians. How do you call them?
the Black Circle, the Wizards of the
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Circle.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're also
Very, very
hardcore.
cool. But
Yeah.
if I have to pick one, Walter.
Yes, yes. And then favorite transformation in Winx Club?
Enchantix.
Ah, yes. Ooh, what's your favorite movie from Winx Club?
Secret of the Lost Kingdom.
Good answer. Good answer. And then your favorite pixie in Winx Club?
Amore.
Ah, Money, of course. Awesome. Well, that's all of my rapid fire questions. You did so good. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to get into our Winx Club song draft. So don't go anywhere.
If we overlap, I have to come up with another title.
Yes. Yeah. But that's okay because there are so many.
No, but let me write a few more.
You've been listening to Elisa Rosselli's 2020 single, Shine. Be sure to check out Elisa's music on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and wherever you get your favorite songs. For updates on Elisa's tour dates and upcoming music, be sure to follow her on social media at Elisa Rosselli on Instagram. She is also on Facebook and Twitter. Links can be found in the description below. Hello friends, welcome back to the Winx Forever podcast. We are here today with our very special guest, Elisa Rosselli. We are going to do now a Winx Club song draft. So if you've been listening to the podcast, you'll know last year I did this draft episode with some friends where we drafted our favorite quotes from the 4Kids dub of Winx Club. So today with Elisa, we are going to draft our favorite Winx Club songs 1 through 5, and we're going to take turns picking our favorite songs. And the trick is, though, we cannot have duplicate songs on our lists. So if a song is claimed on a list, it cannot be placed on the other person's list. So we will go back and forth, taking turns, placing ours until we have our top 5. Elisa, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Awesome. So we will start with round 1. Elisa, you've got the first pick. What is your first round 1 pick?
Superheroes.
Oh no! Yes,
I got
super.
You, I got you.
You did. You got me. I've already got it. I've already got to arrange some stuff. Superheroes is such a good one. I think that is one of the ones that like I sing the most, like just like around my house. Like it's just so catchy. Like yes. Yeah, okay. So that one's out for me. Okay, so I guess so my round 1 pick is going to be Unica or You're the One. Oh my goodness, when this music video dropped on YouTube, I probably like have the record for like the most rewatch like of that music video. I love it so much.
I understand.
All right, so that means that it is round 2, and so I will start round 2 with, this is kind of unconventional, but I think that it works. I'm going to pick for my round 2 the song Feels Like Magic from the 4Kids soundtrack.
It's not hard to believe. Oh, I don't know what it is, but there's something new that keeps on flowing through me, and it feels like magic.
It's the dub that I grew up with. They had their own in-house like band that came up with the songs for all of the cartoons that they dubbed, and so I really really love this song. It is very nostalgic to little Lola.
Oh, cute.
and then what is your round 2 pick?
That will be Tiny's Power.
Ooh, what a good song. Yes. All right, so that leads us to round 3. So, Elisa, you've got the first pick for round 3. What's it gonna be?
Round 3. Oh my God. Come on, Ellie. Come on, Ellie. So, I think it's talking about love.
Ooh, okay.
Teardrop and it's the rain. It's the wish in your heart. It's a healing hand. When I'm lost, it reminds me who I am. I am talking about love.
What a good one. Why is that when you're round 3? What do you
Because
think?
it doesn't even really feel to me. I had to think about the show or the movie. It's just me. It could be one of my songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just me.
Ah,
It's just me.
I love that. I love it. All right, I guess that means that I'm up for round 3. Round 3. Ooh, okay. My round 3 pick is the Chiwambo song.
Yay!
A busy place in the jungle. Hello, echoes the moon. Te quiero mambo, chihuambo, I love you.
When I learned that you just made up Mambo Chiwambo, like the word,
Yes.
that put me at such ease, because for the longest, ever since I was little, I was like, what does this mean? I was like, Google, like, translate to English, like, Mambo Chiwambo. And it would come up nothing. And I'm like, what? Am I going crazy? Like, so that's good. That's good. No,
It means something, though.
it means love.
It means happiness.
Happiness. I was so
The
close.
real happiness that has no reason, it comes from inside you, and it doesn't depend on the weather or on the conditions, It doesn't depend on other people. It's just
Oh.
your pure joy of being alive.
Oh, I love that. And it's so fun to say too, Mambo Chiwambo.
I love you.
Yes. Oh my God. Talk about, I mean, that is like the vibe for Rimini in August, like the Mambo Chiwambo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excited. All right. So that means that we are up for round 4. And so I've got first pick for round 4. Round 4 is hard because there's so many still that I'm just like, oh, need to be on this list, but we can only have 5. So mine is going to have to be Forever.
You mean the duet? You mean
Yeah,
the
the duet. Yeah.
Everything, the reason I feel blessed to be alive forever. I'll be loving you forever.
I mean, that was the first ever duet, right? For the franchise.
Yeah.
What was it like for you writing and performing a duet like that?
Well, it was with my student in mind because I knew who to call. I knew I wanted Ranieri Di Biagio, who grew up to be a wonderful singer,
Mm.
really professional. And I also went to his studio to record. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
cute. Oh,
Yes, actually,
incredible.
I'm his how do you say, wedding witness?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
we are very, very
Cute. Oh,
close. Yes.
I love
Um,
that.
yes.
Oh,
And it was really fun because I know him so well, so I knew
yeah.
how, to write the lines, and
Yes.
yeah, how melodies and the words intertwine perfectly. We had a lot of fun because we have like a high opinion of each other, so it was fun.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. So that leads us right into round 4. For you, what is your round 4 pick, Elisa? It's not
Okay,
easy.
I know, but I want to change genre. I want to go for Big
Okay.
Boy.
Oh, Big Boy is so good.
When the music stops and the disco lights are down, who's gonna love you, big boy? When the morning comes and everybody go back home.
Oh my gosh.
You know why? You know why is that? Because the English version was not written originally for the show or the movie. It was one of my songs again. So it feels very natural for me. It was like
Yes.
a kind of, I was talking about the I just say the stereotype of people who live in Milan, that young people who always want to be more and more successful, and
Oh my
on
goodness.
the outside and maybe a little bit like dull in the inside. So
Yes.
I wanted to encourage them to have an inner life as well, because when the lights shut down and everybody go home,
Who
you're
are
left
you?
on your own.
Yes. I love that. Oh my goodness.
And then they asked me to use it for the movie, and they asked me for the adaptation in Italian, which became much more tailored to, for the scene.
Yes. Oh wow. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up because as a native English speaker, I first heard the English versions of these, but then to rediscover them in their original Italian is like it's so magical. Okay, so that leads us to our final round pick.
Oh,
Elisa, what is your number 5 pick for your top 5 Winx song list?
so mean. I gotta go with my heart, not with the list, not with lists. I wanna go with Love is a Miracle.
Oh, what a good one. Oh, yes.
I'm gonna face it all, I need a hand. Don't wanna lose it all. We need to understand, tell me why. I see myself when I look in your eyes. I know your reasons, I see deep inside. But we must carry on. I need to live my life, tell me that. I'll always be a child 'cause you're
Man, that whole album, just like, it is what we call a no skip album. There are no skips. You don't skip any of the songs. You listen to it top to bottom. You have to.
Yeah, that one is like my mantra.
Ah, love is a miracle. You're so right.
It puts me in an alpha state, the brainwave
Yeah.
state.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes,
But I
absolutely.
must say, I didn't include any of the other team's songs, and I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
sorry. I just want to say I really love We Are Ceramics.
Oh, yes. That one is good too. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Ceramics. I love that
Yes.
one.
Oh my gosh. So good. So good. Okay, my 5th round pick. What's it gonna be? I drafted, so like I drafted my main list, right? And but then I drafted like 2 others in case like in case something happened. And they got stolen. So you got superheroes, but that's okay. So I am going to have to say Fly from Secret Lost
Aw.
Kingdom.
Fly, open your eyes and spread your wings. This is your reality. We live in a magical and wonderful world dream. Everyone has a secret dream. One day you wake up and see
It's beautiful. The scene that they like put that song to. Oh my gosh. It's just so
Yeah.
nostalgic. It's everything. It's everything that I want in a Winx Club song.
It's everything you want in a Winx Club scene, like
Mhm,
them
yes.
over, flying over.
hmm
Oh
And
my
like
God.
touching the clouds and like
Yes.
oh, beautiful.
Ah, it's so nostalgic. So nostalgic.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Fly was my first song for
Was
them.
it?
Yeah, the first one.
Wow. I didn't know
The second
that.
one is Única. The third one is Only a Girl.
Oh. Only a Girl. I had that on another list, like in case, but like that is for sure like top 10. Like that is a top 10 list for me. Well, thank you so much for humoring me and picking your favorite children. I know that favorites change on the daily though, so tomorrow your list might look entirely different.
Exactly. That's the good part.
Yes,
We have
definitely.
so many songs to pick from.
Incredible. Well, I will let you get back to your ultra busy schedule creating all of the magic, but I wanted to say, Elisa, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you so much. It's been
Yes.
so fun, and I
Yes.
would love to like go on like 3 hours at least.
I know,
Because-
right? Same.
I know, right? It's just girly time.
Yes.
It's like being in the scene of the Winx Club.
It
Me and you
is.
chatting in a
Yes.
bathroom.
Yes. I cannot agree more. It's been such a pleasure. Elisa, thank you so much. Be sure to check out all of Elisa's music, her whole catalog on Spotify, on YouTube, and of course on Instagram. Elisa, I hope that you have a magical rest of your week, and I will see you in Rimini.
Oh my god! Can't wait, guys.
So Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode of the Winx Forever podcast, be sure to follow on your preferred streaming platform so that you're notified when new episodes drop. The theme for the Winx Forever podcast is the song She Makes Magic by Big Wild.